The featured company is a paid client of Proactive Group Holdings, and this recording is disseminated by Proactive on its behalf.
It's not just food security, Steve. I mean, it goes deeper than that when you look at the structure of the industry, meaning that, quite a bit of potash comes from geopolitically challenged jurisdictions, whereas almost all other countries in the world actually import potash. So it is good to see that the US government actually has come to that conclusion that it is important to treat potash as critical mineral.
All right, welcome back inside our Proactive newsroom. And joining me now is Farhad Abasov. He is the chairman of Millennial Potash. And Farhad, nice to see you again. How are you?
Doing very well. Thanks, Steve. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thanks very much. A couple of pieces of news that I want to get your thoughts on. First off, the U.S. Geological Survey has just included potash of its 2025 critical mineral list. I guess people are looking around going, it's surprising it's taken this long to get this done. So obviously good news for the company.
Absolutely, Steve, and good news for the fertilizer industry in general. And you're absolutely right; it's high time for it. It's interesting that in the last few years, quite a few commodities have been added to the critical minerals list, but potash and phosphate, some other fertilizers have not been. Although when you think about it, that's probably number one thing that we should think about, which is food security. And obviously, these fertilizers are closely linked to that food security issue. And it's good to see that. And it's not just food security, Steve. I mean, it goes deeper than that when you look at the structure of the industry, meaning that, quite a bit of potash comes from geopolitically challenged jurisdictions, whereas almost all other countries in the world actually import potash. So it is good to see that the US government actually has come to that conclusion that it is important to treat potash as critical mineral.
What does this do for the company? Is it just gives you that notification that yeah, it's important, or are there things that you can take from that and use within the company to move your message forward?
Well, I think it puts potash in general on what I would call a geopolitical map, meaning that it becomes actually, critical mineral, obviously, as I said, food security item, but also the countries are starting to take potash availability very seriously. Now, in our particular case, I think this is already kind of converted into very strong support coming from the US government. Earlier this year, we had the strategic agreement signed with the US Development Finance Corporation, whereas they support us in our feasibility study by providing non-dilutive financing. So I think for us, that's already kind of translated into tangible results. And I think going forward, USDFC support will be even, bigger for us because obviously now potash is one of the top items, one of the top priority items for the US government as well.
Yeah, that agency has invested about $13 billion across 300 projects all over the place, as a matter of fact. So this is a substantial amount. It's about $3 million for you. And as you mentioned, it really gets you to move things forward much quicker than you would have in the past without that kind of financing backing.
Exactly, Steve. Actually, it entails three different elements. One is that non-dilutive financing today. So
Yeah.
they basically matching funds to meet our feasibility study requirements. That is very important. And again, it's non-dilutive, meaning it's not equity, it's not a loan. So that's very important for us. The second thing is political support that comes with it, meaning that we see tremendous political support coming from USDFC, from the US Embassy in Gabon, from other parts of the US government. That's very important to de-risk the project politically in a very substantial way. And the third thing, and you already referred to it, USDFC's mandate is actually to deploy a lot more capital, most in the form of debt, but sometimes equity as well, across industrial projects in various developing countries. So that's what they're really after. So BFC wants to lead project financing for us when the time comes after the feasibility study. And that's a really the biggest element out of all three, meaning that with USDFC financing support, we'll be able to fund this project to take it all the way to production if necessary.
Yeah. And lastly, just the big focus on getting that report out. Is that a lot of work going on right now behind the scenes, Farhad?
Yes, Steve, I think we have a tremendous milestone in the next few weeks, and that's revised a resource estimate. As you probably remember, we've been talking about it. We drilled two more holes earlier this year, so all the results are in. Results are incredible. We've intersected 100 meters of thickness of potash in both of these holes. So we think the revised resource estimate is going to significantly increase our existing resource, and that will actually set path for feasibility study, and hopefully we will be able to look at larger production scales going forward.
All right. Well, it's on the critical minerals list. It's important, obviously, and so was this interview. And really appreciate your time, Farhad. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Steve.
All right, Farhad Abasov, he is the chairman of Millennial Potash.
The featured company is a paid client of Proactive Group Holdings, and this recording is disseminated by Proactive on its behalf. It is for informational purposes only and does not constitute investment advice, an offer, or a solicitation to buy or sell any securities. Viewers should conduct their own research and consult a qualified financial advisor before making investment decisions. The views expressed are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect those of Proactive Group Holdings, trading as Proactive Investors or its affiliates. No responsibility is accepted for any loss arising from reliance on the information presented.